Hi everybody, I am coming to you to share a little information about our Chef Series Pure Knife Collection. Now these are a top of the range style knife. They are what they call chef's grade knives, and every good knife, if everyone knows, is a bit of an investment, but with proper care and a good set will actually make your prep time a lot easier and also should last a lifetime as well. Now what's very special about the Tupperware knives, these are made for a Japanese stainless steel, which makes them tougher, stronger and harder than your conventional knives. And you will actually see on there as well, there is actually that rippling on the top, and that is actually on both sides. So obviously good for people who are left and right-handed, but it also means that things aren't going to be sticking to them when you are cutting as well. Another thing that these are really good with is the fact that they've got a very ergonomically designed handle that makes it a lot easier for you to hold. It makes it more efficiently when you are cutting. So the handle is quite smooth and contoured, you can see there. It makes it a lot more durable for the kitchen. Now the blade weight as well has actually been perfectly balanced against the handle weight. So it means that even distribution between the blade and the handle means it's going to be more confident and a lot more stable when you are chopping in the kitchen. So it means that you're not going to have anything slipping out of your hands. The other thing that you will notice is they've actually got quite a broad bolster. So this is this part of here that basically separates your blade from your handle. And that means that you're going to have your hands, or your fingers nicely tucked behind, so you're not going to cut yourself as well. So the other thing with all these knives, they do come with the sheaths as well. So these sheaths are fantastically designed. So it means that when you're out and about, you can obviously, you've got covers if you're traveling as well. But if you're storing these in a drawer, it means that you're not going to cut yourself. You're not going to be grabbing anything. It's actually very well protected. The one thing I do love is actually on the very back of all the knives, there is actually a little pictogram just here that actually identifies what sheath is for what knife, so you can't get them mixed up, which is really, really handy as well. So there is a few different knives in the range. Now I do have 5 here. There is actually 7 in the range. So we have our chef knives, our bread knife, carving knife, filleting knife, serrated filleting knife, and there is also a utility knife and a paring knife as well, so slightly smaller ones into the range. And I always do recommend that every kitchen does need a chef knife. It's one of the knives that probably is used 90% of the time in most kitchens. It is a very universal knife to use. It's great for your every day-to-day type of cutting, and because it's also got the wide blade on this one as well, it's actually really good for if you're crushing garlic and things like that, and also scraping things off your cutting mats. Okay. So next one I do have is our bread knife. Now when we're talking about ergonomic handles, you can actually see that the handle sits a lot higher than the blade itself. So it does mean that you aren't going to be dropping it into the bread at all at any times. But it is actually a very good length as well for cutting all your breads, your cakes and pastries as well. But the other thing it's also useful for is cutting any of your certain fruits and vegetables that might have a soft skin, like tomatoes. So because it's serrated, it actually won't damage the skin when you're cutting it, okay? And because of the way it's designed, it's actually minimizing crumbling when you are actually cutting those cakes and pastries as well. Now we also got things like our carving knife, which is fantastic for doing like your poultry and your meats and slicing. So it's actually got a very pointy tip on here as well. If I come up nice and close to the camera for you guys as well. But it means it's very, very easy to pierce the skin of the meat like chicken, but it's also very easy to score meats and larger things. It'll cut through like things like turkey, chicken breasts and things like that. But it's also very good, it's not just for meats, you can actually use this for slicing up vegetables as well. Now the filleting knife is a very special blade as well. So you actually see it's very, very sharp, but it's actually designed to have that flex in it. So it's long and thin. So it's even really good for deboning whole fishes, and also very good for cutting your smaller cuts of meat. Now the serrated blade one I've got here is a serrated utility. Now it's a nice little handy knife as well, so it's really ideal for cutting like your delicate skin fruits and vegetables, things like your kiwis and your peaches, and even bread rolls and baguettes. So it's still got that serrated edge just like your bread knife, but just in a smaller size. Now, the utility knife and the paring knife, which I actually don't have here, but they are the slightly smaller ones. So the utility's perfect for cutting like your smaller items like your mushrooms and herbs and apples, but also good, perfect size to take while traveling. Because it's got the cover as well, the sheath there, so it's easy to pop into any picnic bag while you're traveling and taking it away. And also then you've got your little paring knife, which is really good for cutting all the really fine little things. Now, just a couple of things with your knives, just to make sure that you get a lot more use out of them and just caring for them. So the important factor is to make sure that you get a lifetime use out of them, is to make sure that they're always sharpened before use. So with these knives, they are less likely, like every knife will eventually blunt, but these will last a lot longer than average knives. So I always recommend, if you're thinking it's a little bit blunt, don't cut with them. Please do use something like our Tupperware knife sharpener to sharpen them, or get them professionally sharpened as well. Now, other thing as well is to make sure that you always hand wash your knives. They will actually last a lot better. So when you've used your knife, once it's been finished, don't leave them in the sink. All you need to do is to quickly hand wash them and then dry them straight away afterwards, because that'll prevent any any blunting as well. And also make sure that they don't go through the dishwasher, because the dishwashers can actually affect the lifetime of your blade. Now, the other little care factor as well, that if you ever find that you're getting any little spotting on your knives, is just to use a stainless steel cleaner, and that'll actually just wipe on there, and that'll actually wipe any spotting off as well. So hopefully I've given you all the information about our beautiful knives. Thank you.